Started.
Okay, Negra Capa, from what country is this? Portugal. Here, let's try c4. Haven't played that in a bit. Portugal, huh? I don't know if I've played someone from Portugal before. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting a normal English, it looks like, a symmetrical English, I mean. Let's play with the fianchetto. It's a pretty normal setup. I should play knight to c3, I guess. I'm not going for the Botvinnik setup this time because this knight on f3 is not part of the Botvinnik setup, but that goes on e2. So we'll get a different kind of English. I mean, let's do it more like a Sicilian reversed. Although he hasn't played e5. I can build up with e3 and d4. He can attack on the queen side. So if he pushes his pawn forward, takes, maybe a bit awkward. So let's stop the pawn push there. Stop the queen side expansion. And then build up with e3 and d4. Try and get a bigger share of the center. And this bishop along the long diagonal can be a good piece. Let's take a moment to castle before I continue on with d4. Just a general precaution. As lines open up in the center, it gets tricky. Good to get your king out of there. Aha, so he goes for a full-on exchange in the center, I guess, or maximum tension. So if I take the d-pawn, he can take my d-pawn. I can take back the knight. He takes, I take, he takes. It's all just going to be pretty even. I am still going to have this bishop on a good open diagonal, though, it looks like. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. If he took back with the pawn, I was going to take over here and give him an isolated queen's pawn. So now I was thinking knight takes. And I've got, he can take back with a knight or the pawn, and then take with a queen here. So now I've got 3 pieces on this pawn. Aren't I keeping it? Aren't I staying a pawn up in this line? I thought he had to take the pawn back at some point. I think I could have wound up giving him the isolated queen's pawn at some point. Check that out. We'll check that out. Okay, can I just take it right away? Knight takes, queen takes. And I don't see any problem with that. Is there a loose pawn over here? This one is defended, that one's defended. No, I think I'm okay here. And like I said, I still have pressure on this diagonal, so it looks good to me. So we both have the bishop pair, but I just have a pawn extra. We'll see if that's enough to win. If he trades queens. He can keep the queens on too. Nothing wrong with that. He keeps trades and goes for the endgame. Not a bad choice, really. So what do I want to do? I can stay on this diagonal and drop back to g2. That's maybe the most obvious choice. But there's also coming here and staying on this f7 square. Let's see, when I get out of the way, his rook is going to penetrate. Let's see, if I go here and he plays pawn to b5, kicking the bishop. If I go to c4 and he plays pawn b5, I can take the pawn. He takes back, I take the rook. Okay, so my idea is to go here and then, let's see, where can his rook penetrate? It stops his rook from getting into these squares. So I'm just trying to keep control over the this file here. Yeah, he grabbed the long diagonal. Not a bad idea. Okay, so I'm going to go bishop b2, but then he has rook to okay, bishop b2, rook to d2, and then what do I do? Funny. So what can I play here? Okay, yeah, it's kind of a strange move, but I'm trying to get a rook over to the d file one way or another, and this is the idea I came up with: rook a1 to a2 over to d2. And now if he plays the rook to d8, which I'm sort of expecting, the bishop can come here. And I've got the bishop off the back rank, and I've got control of all of these squares, so his rook can't easily penetrate. So now what? Now I need to find a way to lift my rook up. I'm bringing my king out. King to f8, king to f1 to e2 is my plan. Okay, he's hitting this bishop, so he can push the pawn forward, and my bishop, well, my bishop behind it is defended, so this is okay. Let's just bring my king towards the center. I think that's the plan here. He could play bishop to f3, which might be a good move for him. The other way of getting something on the d file, yeah, he wants to. Why don't I just trade that off? If I take the bishop, yeah, I mean I could go to d4 and block the d file that way, and I could have done that earlier. That would have been another way to play it, and it also hits this pawn. But if I play it now, he will just drop back, and when I take, he can take back with the rook. So let's see, I'll just take here. And now if he pushes this pawn forward, I can take with the pawn. So let's bring my king forward. Start these pawns rolling. Okay, oh, that's interesting. He wants to take there, huh? Okay, I'm going to start bringing these pawns forward. I don't mind if he takes there. That's just a trade of pawns. It doesn't actually accomplish anything. Okay, so he could have taken that pawn. This bishop is pinned here. Okay, next I'm going to put my rook on the d file. Now that I've blunted his bishop, let's see, he can come around to a2 here. I'm blocking with rook to d2. If he does that, I'm attacking the f7 pawn, and I'm hitting the bishop, and he can't defend both of them. He can check and grab a pawn over here, but then I'll take the bishop. And if he saves the bishop, I'll take this pawn with check.
Check.
And then, let's see, where can we go from here? Okay, we can take more pawns. If the king had gone the other way, though, I would have had a discovered check, so he had to go that way. But this is just too much at this point. Let's see. Okay, so now there's a tactic that wins the rook, right? Let's check here. King has to move.
Check. Black resigns.
Okay, well, it's kind of a one-sided game, but I'm going to upload
Incoming
this
challenge.
and do a postmortem. See you guys later. Bye.